Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hivemind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. I just can't see it. So many people keep telling me that RFK Jr. is going to be pulling voters away from Trump. I mean, even RFK said it himself. Of course, I've played that clip so many times, but I just don't see it. I just can't see a world where Trump voters, the 75 million of them, who showed up to vote on Election Day 2020, come out in droves on Election Day 2024 to vote for this guy. RFK Jr. supposedly aligns with Trump voters, even though most of the things that he says reminds me more of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. He's essentially a far leftist who reminds me more of Bernie Sanders than any right-wing finger I could think of. The clips have been absolutely disastrous for this guy, and here's another clip of RFK Jr. saying the darndest things. We got some stuff to get into, but this video is actually brought to you guys by a sponsor, so let's play that clip. This video is brought to you guys by our friends at American Hartford Gold. Folks, we're facing uncertain times. It's been a real rocky 3 years. Politicians have a spending problem, printing endless trillions, then of course leaving you the tab in the form of inflation, the most insidious tax of all. The cost of goods and services continues to rise, and during times like this, one of the best ways to protect your hard-earned cash is by investing in physical assets. In this case, precious metals, gold and silver. That's where American Hartford Gold comes into play, the highest rated gold company in America, with gold prices through the roof once again hitting an all-time high, currently at almost $2,200 an ounce. Now's the time to give them a call. With one phone call, they could deliver physical gold and silver straight to your doorstep, or they'll have it delivered directly into your 401k or IRA. And best of all, you could take advantage of the current promotion, where you could receive up to $5,000 of free silver on qualifying first orders. All you need to do is call 844-440-1005. Again, that's 844-440-1005, or text Hivemind one word to 65532. That's 65532. As usual, a huge thank you to American Hartford Gold, always protecting us from the insidious tax of inflation. Alright folks, so the series continues. RFK Jr. says the darndest things. Here he is sounding like your typical elitist, out-of-touch, AOC Bernie Sanders style Democrat. Take a look.
Amory Levins calculated that the true price of a gallon of gasoline, if the oil companies had to pay the true price, would be about $12 a gallon. So that's what we're paying for oil, but they don't pay it. You and I do. And if they actually were forced to internalize those costs, to pay all the healthcare costs and the crop damage and the acid rain damage and all that other, and the pollution costs, and that was reflected in the price of oil, then we'd be paying $12 at the pump, and we'd be sending the correct signals to the marketplace. And the market would be saying, we need an alternative to a gasoline car, because every American would say, well, it costs about 0.3 cents a mile to drive an electric car, and it costs about $4 a mile once you get, to buy a gasoline car, and we'd very quickly transition, and you would incentivize all these people out there who are adding efficiencies to lithium-ion batteries and looking at different battery systems.
He's essentially advocating for the destruction of the fossil fuel industry. And I guess the way you achieve that is with tariffs and regulations on foreign imported oil, while reducing domestic supply, essentially destroying the oil industry. And then of course, slapping a boatload of taxes on top of the equation, driving prices to the point where you're paying $12 at the pump, all in the name of forcing electric vehicles down people's throats. How completely insane. He's talking about using the government to sabotage the energy industry. It's insane. We're talking about economic suicide. What it sounds like is a moral argument, but even then, it still makes no sense. Destroy domestic energy, tax it into oblivion, destroy economic prosperity while the rest of the world is drilling away and capitalizing on American economic decline. Yeah, that's not how you save the planet. That's a 101 class on how to destroy your economy. These are RFK Jr.'s crackpot ideas. Honestly, I think he might have went to the same school of economics as Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. But the reality is that RFK Jr. is just a sucker for a left-wing cause. The more progressive and idealistic, the better. As if it wasn't bad enough that this guy signed on with the whole BLM stuff, he's championed turning Columbus Day into Indigenous Peoples Day, and he continued to defend his stance on that issue. Up until just last week with Tim Pool in the video that we covered, we've seen his stance on abortion. It's arguably the most extreme of any presidential presidential candidate ever.
But so to leave, so in other words, keeping it as is with Roe versus Wade having been overturned and leaving it up to the states to determine if and when a woman can have an abortion?
No, I wouldn't leave it to the states.
You wouldn't, right?
No, I would.
You would say completely, it's up to the woman.
My belief is we should leave it to the woman. We shouldn't have government involved.
Even if it's full term?
Even if it's full term.
Okay.
And on top of all of it, he's a AOC Green New Deal carbon tax supporter.
Green New Deal,
I think the Green New Deal is, all of that stuff is important. It's good. We ought to be pursuing it. My approach is more market-based than kind of top-down dictates. I believe that we should use market mechanisms like carbon taxes and the elimination of subsidies. And I think that those are the things that would transition our economy fastest from a coal-based economy that is kind of with the rule.
Quote, he believes that we should use market mechanisms like carbon taxes. Market mechanisms. Interesting terminology. And let's relay it to what's currently going on. Let's put it into current day perspective. One of the most important issues for voters right now is the cost of energy. Gas prices are nearly 50% higher than they were from day one when he took office. People want lower gas prices. They want energy independence, not energy dependence. Frankly, people want energy abundance. And in that environment, here comes RFK Jr. appealing to the people running for president, talking about carbon taxes and $12 gas. There's no way this guy is pulling votes away from Donald Trump. And look, maybe he is right now in the polls. Maybe this early in the election, there's people who just don't know. They're getting called, getting surveyed, and they're saying, you know what, I like RFK Jr., I'm going to vote for him. But once they wake up, there's no way. When it's actually time to select a candidate on that ballot, once everything's done and dusted, the debates are over, once all the candidates have made their arguments, or when some of the candidates have been exposed and RFK Jr.'s left-wing extremism certainly is getting exposed. This happened on Sean Hannity's show the other night.
He could be maybe one of the most liberal candidates to ever seek the presidency. He supports everything from a carbon tax. He supports, reparations, affirmative action. He once called the NRA a terrorist group. He endorsed just about every major Democrat this century, from Kerry to Clinton to Obama, etc. His hashtag on Twitter at the time has always been "keep it in the ground." He's against fracking. He's against fossil fuels of all kinds.
Well, once the Trump voters see it, there's just no way that RFK Jr. contends. You see some polls where he's polling at 12%. I think a lot of those people are going to ditch at the last second, vote for Trump like their lives depend on it. But most importantly, like their pockets depend on it. $12 gas. This guy wants to Mad Max reset the world. This is some liberal New World Order crap that obviously has no appeal to Trump voters. RFK Jr., in my view, is essentially Bernie Sanders 2.0, but just from a Democrat legacy family. He's getting fully exposed here. The last 3 or 4 months have been an absolute nightmare for his campaign. The clips continue to pile up. I think with time his campaign is going to fade into complete irrelevancy, and theoretically that should benefit Trump. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys on this one. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.